It's yet another Saturday morning, afternoon, evening, depending on where you are. And welcome to another episode of Dear Man. We're happy to come your way today. And we believe that it will be an awesome encounter. As usual, let's go ahead, share the feed. I keep saying share, but it doesn't look like you've been sharing the feed, right? Because maybe I should take out this part of sharing the feed. But I mean, it gives us the opportunity as well to share ours. So please go out there, share the feed, and at least that informs people who are forgetting that we are live and we are online. And as usual, do well to come in with your comments, your feedback, and so on and so forth. So let's try to make this very interactive. So let me just share mine and then we'll get going. Last week we had a discussion on resentment and practical ways to overcome it. Today, I mean, as per the direction of the birthday boy, we going to talk about overcoming negativity. So um, let me take a moment to um, wish our um, ever active and ever present um, producer and editor and everything. So everything you see on Dear Man, he's actually the one who takes care of it. I only come with Prissy to come and sit here on Saturday mornings, talk, and go away. Everything before and after that is his doing. So thank you so much, Sammy, for all you do. We appreciate all you do, and a big happy birthday
Happy
to
birthday,
you.
man.
And so let's get right in. So Sammy say if Sammy says something, we have to do it. He says we discussing avoiding negativity today, so we have no choice and we have to do it. Thanks for joining us, Mogaki. So let's get going. When it comes to this topic of negativity or positivity, that's the opposite. I mean, however you want to tackle it, or whichever perspective you want to tackle it. I really think it is all here.
Psychological.
Yeah, it is all there, you see. And that's why I like scripture a lot. It sheds light on every topic you can think about, right? So, as scripture says, as a man thinketh, so is he. It is just linking the state of your mind, how you think, to what you are, right? So, um, there is another scripture that also goes in that same area, in that same vein. It says that to be carnally minded is death. So, what is here? And to be spiritually minded, also all in the mind, is life and peace. So, in effect, negativity, positivity, all of that is a theme of the mind. If I meet you for the very first time, or you go meet someone for the very first time, think about it. The person has not known you since Adam. What whatever impressions the person leaves with is actually dependent on what you exhibit during that very short moment, and it will leave a lasting impression. But all that, however you behave yourself, however you go about, it's all here. If you think you go in there as an underdog, you would actually exhibit the tendencies and exhibit the characteristics of an underdog, right? So, as a man thinketh, so is he. Now, let's go hit straight on the topic. In every facet of your life, if you can be positively minded, the chances of you having positive results is higher. That's just how it functions. Thanks. Sami says that thank you so much. You're welcome, Sami. And thanks for joining us, Mary. And so today's topic is not just for your marriages or relationships, it is for your life as a whole, in your career, in your day-to-day, what do you call it? Interactions with people, going for interviews, trying to go higher in your career. However you think, that's what you become, right? So try to most times, I don't know how this works, but most times we come to believe things even without ascertaining them. For some reason, think about it. Say you are going for an interview, and then in your mind you go like, "Oh, I don't think they'll want a lady to get this job." Already, without even validating whatever your thoughts are, you've defeated yourself. So again, I don't know why humans tend to think that way or why we tend to function that way, but we have the opportunity to either believe a positive report or a positive thought, or um, we also could choose going the negative. My question before I hand over to Prissy is that if something is yet to happen, it has not happened yet, right? And you have the opportunity, or you have the right, you in fact you can decide to choose between negativity and positivity. That's, you can decide to choose between the thing going right and the thing going wrong. Why on earth do you decide to choose the negative one? Think on these questions as Prissy comes in. Yep, Prissy, over to you.
Yes, so this topic about negativity, positivity. Um, again, I want to think about the personality or temperament wise too. So some people, you give them maybe a proposal, the first thing they think about, what are all the mistakes that can happen or all the wrongs that can happen, without even thinking of one positive. Yeah, so before they start on a project or something, you see that you've already failed because you are already concentrating on all the negativities and not one positive aspect of the project you want to embark on. Um, for me personally, I feel like I'd rather think positive and fail at it than have that negative thoughts, because even when you're going to sit for an exam and in your mind you feel like the exam is difficult, you would have lost like 50% already. So I for my experience, I always feel like going positive, try your best. If it doesn't work out, you come back and try to reassess what you can do to make it better. Sometimes too, I feel like maybe because of experiences or exposure, things we've seen. Maybe we are from a family that we haven't really seen anybody being successful at something. So in our mind, like nobody succeeds in my family. So that's another form of negativity. And so we carry that on. I know people who tell you that as for my family is cursed, we don't do this, we don't do that. And because of that, we can't come out of, I believe it's not a curse. Sometimes it's because we all carry the same mindset. The whole generation, everyone, like from generation to generation, we are carrying a certain mindset. That is why we are not able to break through from that so-called curse. But if we are able to change our mind and know that we are individuals, we have different personalities, we are not that person that failed, or whoever we feel our ancestors who did not succeed, we will be able to break out of that negative um curse or whatever we call it. Yeah.
Yeah, and to piggyback on what Prissy mentioned, most times what we call strongholds, they exist, and I'll explain to you. So strongholds exist, only that most times the way we think about them is what is the problem. So when people go, they praying against strongholds, they praying against anything that is keeping them from whatever. Most times the strongholds exist here. So you feel you've been, I mean, I'm sure we've all heard about the story of that goat that had been tied to a tree for a very long time. So much so that even after it was released, it didn't move. It was still just stuck under the tree, still thinking that it is being held by that rope or by that twine. And that is what happens usually. And that keeps us in a negative mindset. The strongholds are up here, and we feel there is something that limits us from taking the next step or doing something. And I mean, personally, my whole life has been a testament to what positivity can do. Because when you take my career, for example, I always make the leap and go like, what's the point? What if you don't give attempt it, how on earth are you already writing yourself off, right? So go for it. No one stops you. It is only this that will stop you. In every single thing I can think about, if you think you want to have a good marriage and in your family no one has had a good marriage, this will make it work or not. So, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So, in every single facet of your life, and we are not saying that it should not make you do analysis, right? Like, for example, like Prissy mentioned, there's a project before you. We are not saying that don't try to do due diligence. Don't try to align your ducks in a row. Don't try to ensure that you are really set up for success. What we are saying is to be set up for success starts here. So, in fact, that is what will make you think like, oh, I think I would get this. And so I shouldn't put myself in a situation where it stops me from getting it. So let me ensure that everything is right as expected. So, you see, um, think about it. You would hear a lot of success stories of people who have taken steps and have been the first to do. I mean, whether in their families, in their communities, in their countries, blah blah blah. It all starts with I'm going for this because no matter how possible something is, if you don't take that first step, it will never be achieved. And most times you don't even know of how possible it is till you decide to embark on that journey, see all the issues that come up, deal with them, and then you end up achieving whatever originally was thought impossible. So if you want to change your life, change your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
If all that you sit about doing is ingesting negativity, I'm sorry, it's garbage in, garbage out. Whatever you ingest is what you exude. So if you really want to change your life, your family, your marriage, your relationships, your career, your everything, your outlook of life, begin to remain positive. Think about it. So a lot of people are afraid of flying, right? A lot of people are afraid of flying. The first thing they think about is, what if it crashes? Oh, so of all the, if you really assess the evidence, you would actually get to know that flying is one of the safest modes of transport you could ever have. In fact, if you want to see have a good visual of that, you can go to a site like Flight Radar, right? If you go to Flight Radar, it shows you all the flights in the air at a certain point in time. And you would see tens of thousands of flights every single minute, wherever they are across the globe. And then that would show you that it, it's not like every day, it's not like an everyday occurrence that you hear that, oh, this there is a crash and people have died and so on and so forth. What makes people scared is that most times um accidents relating to aircraft are more fatal. That's what gives people the scare. It is not that you are like going into some dangerous.
Frequency of accidents is low.
Exactly. So sometimes without assessing the evidence, we keep ourselves with some fears and some whatever, and it limits us. It's very limiting on us. Again, so whether things would be good in everything you do, largely depends on what you have here. It's as simple as that. If you can really change your mindset, then you should be good. Why would you have a good report and a bad report and decide to believe the bad report?
Hmm.
Why would you think that in your life it is possible to make it, not make it, and you decide to think up, like go like, as for
It's
me,
easier
yeah, as for
on
me,
the
I was
mind
born.
to go for the negative one, so that if in case you don't make it, then
It's
like,
not like
yeah.
and that's really that's really what shows the extent of negativity one has in their lives, right? I mean, if you don't try, there is no way you get to know whether it will work or not, right? Think about it. There are hundreds of things that you take decisions on in a day. If for all of them you go like, no, it won't work, no, it won't work. Ladies and gentlemen, I can prophesy your future. Your future will not work. It's as simple as that. So um it, people will think that there is a nicer way to put it or a nicer way to go about it. All you need to do is, if there is anything you can really work on, it's here. It's as simple as that. And that's why sometimes it takes people who are mentality monsters to do a lot of things. You give a shot at something, it fails, you go like, no, it doesn't mean I should stop. I go at it again, it fails, you go, oh, I now know two more ways it doesn't work, two more ways to not to go about it. You go again and you excel at it. It's it's here. It's just how you think, and that's what makes you. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Yeah, Prissy.
Yes, and the topic being unavailable to negativity. So we've spoken most about the negativity from within, right? Sometimes it's from without, like people surrounding us. We want to embark on a journey or something. The people around, we find out that maybe the family and friends around us are like very negative people. We have to be unavailable to them. I always use this example. So my daughter will come and tell me that maybe her brother called her fat. Then I'll be like, "Are you fat?" Then she'll be like, "No." So then I'll be like, "So why would someone tell you that you are fat and it bothers you, but you know you are not fat?" So I try to make her be able to use her mind, stand your ground. So recently, when we went for the parents teachers conference, one of the teacher was telling me that my daughter, that she's a very good writer and she has excelled. So when we came back home, she reiterated it, and the brothers were like, "That's what all teachers say." And I realized that now she's able to stand on her ground. She told them that it is not true because she has evidence. Actually, the teacher gave me her writing sample. You can look at my writing samples there. I have it there, and I scored very high. So it's not about teacher saying it to everybody that, oh, you are good. And so sometimes you have to stand your ground, and you should also be able to maybe um I believe that sometimes you have to cut people you feel that, oh, because you have voices speaking to you from outside. So if you can, you see that this person is always there, no matter what this person was, oh, it won't work. You would have to not cut, but maybe try and distance yourself, or whenever you have something you want to do, that is not the person you go to tell, oh, I have this plan. You were even telling me about the Dubai king when they wanted to make that island, right? Was it the island that there were engineers who said the one that they were feeling this? The
Oh, it was just trying to put aside anyone who would say, hey,
it wouldn't
this
work.
thing wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work, but it worked.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so I believe that sometimes you just need to even the Bible, I don't know if it would work in this, but it says that if your right eye hurts or something, take it out. It's like negativity is like cancer.
yeah.
If you have very negative people surrounding you, they are like cancer, they will
It
spread.
spreads. Yeah.
So sometimes you just have to cut it, throw it away, just so that you would be, the mindset will be straight. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean it's a battle for your mind. What with what Prissy mentioned, all the external influences that exudes negativity, it's all fighting for this. If you allow them to seep in, then it will affect what the outcome is. So again, if you think there are people who are being negative, yeah, um, you could, and it's not as harsh as saying, "Hey, I'm not talking to you again because of blah blah blah." It could just mean that whenever they speak or talk, because it will be all negativity, you create a filter in your brain and say that if X is from source B, drop it. Simple. So they might be talking, they might be contributing, but it's been, the logic has just it has filtered it, so it doesn't go into your code base, right? So um at the end of the day, okay, you are responsible for your life. You are responsible for the outcome. You are responsible for what you become. And so don't think that you can actually say, "Oh, but it was my friend who said I should do this. It was my friend who said no." You can't actually go give that report, right? And so what you need to do is to own it, own it. Be responsible for your final
Decisions.
yeah decisions, right? I mean, people, it's like sometimes people are not even really trying to kill your ambition or your dreams or anything. They are just trying to be cautious because they think they love you, or because they love you actually, right? But sometimes looking at you want to become what you want to become, it frames, I mean, how you think about things, how you're looking at things, right? So you don't allow those to come in, and as Prissy mentioned, being cancerous to come affect all your positivity, right? So um you will need to create a logical filter that clears off all that people say that does not necessarily align to what you're saying. And this does not mean that when people say something which is against what you're thinking, you don't give it like
I thought
yeah, you don't try to see if it really makes sense. Sometimes it sounds negative, but it actually helps to build up what you're trying to do, right? So you
if
will
the
need to
feedback is constructive.
exactly,
But there are
exactly.
some people who would never,
Yeah.
they would not attempt to do anything
Hmm.
good. And it's not like, I don't know if they're afraid for you. Some of them are not even afraid. It's not like they just want you to be where you are.
Yeah.
Like some people put people in a box,
Yeah.
right? So they don't want them to step out of that box.
Yeah.
And so when you come to tell them that, oh, I have this dream, and just like Joseph,
Hmm.
he had the dream
Hmm.
of the brothers, and then all of a sudden, negative, they started planning
Yeah.
against him. So sometimes you need to also be able to keep things to yourself. Go to people you feel that can give you constructive feedback or
Yeah.
will be able to push you forward, but not don't discuss some things with some people because they are not for progress.
Yeah. Right. Right. So um today, if we leaving us with something, it is to go focus on what gets into our minds, what gets into our thought process, how we perceive things, how we think about things, and what is that like. So if think about it, all the people that have done great things in this world, I am very very sure they have people who are more like the guys in the background they run things by. And the reason they run things by such people is that the people will never tell them, no, this will not work, but they will go like, okay, I think it will work, but let's look at this. It is more of being constructive, as Prissy mentioned. So um if we're going out with an assignment for the week or for the month or for our lives, it should be how we process things, how we see. Funny enough, the human brain is able to take as much as we want to feed it with, right? Or is able to process things however we want it to process things. I mean, if you think that with all the brain cells God has given you, you are only going to use it to think negatively, so be it, and that's what will happen. So let's think about the positives. If there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things. Let's think on the things that are of a positive report, and it would have an impact on our lives because as a man thinketh, so is he. Thanks so much for joining us on today's episode of Dear Van. We really appreciate your time, your input, your feedback, and always remember, as a man thinketh, so is he. But also remember, no two relationships are the same. Thanks, cheers, and bye for now. And happy birthday again, Sam.